Welcome, everyone. This is the CCRS Foundation's refresher. And this idea came to us a few months ago in realizing that there's been a lot of staff turnover, there's been a lot of new things happening, a lot of position shift around the state as people delve into their new school years, as well as a CCRS cohort for the first time in a couple of years and live and in person in rather a long time. So it's been a minute since we had a chance to really dig into the CCRS and just get back to some basics here. So that's the reason behind these sessions. So we're doing it once today and then repeating it next week. If you have friends and colleagues who are not able to join us for this webinar, they would be able to join us next week and it will be a repeat. And I'm just delighted to turn things over to our key CCRS leaders here, Christine Kelly, and then Lindsay as well. Go ahead, Christine.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. It is a beautiful morning here. I am in South St. Paul. I noticed Lake Elmo is where Marisa is. That is where my husband and I had our rehearsal dinner for our wedding almost 25 years ago. So that was a nice little memory this morning. Welcome to the CCRS Refresher. I am Christine Kelly. I am the Atlas Literacy Coordinator, and I'll let Lindsay introduce herself.
Yes, I am Lindsay Poost, and I am the Atlas Numeracy and Special Projects Coordinator.
Next slide. So welcome. And just very quickly, we're going to spend just a few minutes together, and then we are going to give you the choice to go into math specific or ELA specific rooms. So, and we're going to dive in a little bit, and we are going to, this isn't a replacer for foundations, but we're going to dig into the shifts and the math practices and really kind of review some of the key points. This can be a great refresher for those of you who've done CCRS foundations, either live or on Schoology, or it might spark you to say, I think I'm going to do the online Schoology course in math, ELA, or both. So we're just very glad to have you. All right. So again, our main objectives, I'm a little ahead apparently of our slide deck. Go ahead, Lindsay. We are going to, again, in the ELA, we're going to take a look at the 3 shifts. In math, of course, there are shifts and practices. We're both going to highlight some key resources and tools that are handy to have to be doing this work. And the reason we're reviewing this content is because we want to continually enhance our instruction, which benefits our students. And it's an ongoing, Lindsay and I talk a lot about how we always feel like in some areas we're always developing because we're always learning new things. We're learning new ways to do things. And I personally find that one of the most exciting and engaging parts of education. Lindsay, do you want to say anything before we jump?
Before we jump, no, I think that sums it up. But yes, we are always learning. I'm always learning. And so it was fun to put this together even to figure out like, what are the main points that we want to review and spend time on? Because yeah, as we go from, in our day-to-day lives, sometimes some of the details can just go away. So it's nice to have a moment to just reflect. So you get to choose either the ELA or the math breakout room, and Christine will be leading the ELA room. I'll be leading the math room. And so we will be recording each of those breakout rooms. So if you do have staff, colleagues that are not able to make this one, encourage them to come next week for the live webinar, but otherwise we are recording these so that we can share with people who aren't able to make it. Okay, so just in a moment, you are going to get a prompt to choose either the ELA room or the math room. And if you have any problems, if it's not letting you select a breakout room, just let us know and we'll get you where you want to be.
All right.
Lindsay, would you like to tick through the last few slides? There's a link that I want to grab for folks.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So we just have a few minutes left and we have some resources and announcements. So thank you for participating in the fire hose. ELA and math foundations refresher. Water is refreshing. Okay, so we have on the Atlas website, here we go. Sorry, I'm moving my chat box. On the Atlas website, we have resources for CCR standards. And so I'm going to click there and show you. You may already be aware of this, but in one of the libraries, the CCR Standards Resources Library, and it is linked in the slides as well, there are lots of different resources here, ELA, math, sample lessons, there are videos on the math practices, etc. There's also the glossary of terms, the implementation cohort that we run every other year. There's CCRS in Action PLC. This was created by Ann Sorens. A more light version of that, something that you could then use with your staff. Yeah, so lots of things to just peruse here. That'll be linked in the slides. And then on YouTube, there are a lot of previous webinars and recordings. And when we do this again next week, we will then choose the best recording and we will upload the recording of this there as well. And you will get the PDF of the slides. But Minnesota Adult Education Professional Development on YouTube, there is a wealth of different playlists and music. Okay, wealth of different playlists and different topics and past webinars that you can do. And there is a way to get CEUs for watching a webinar. There is a form that you can fill out, kind of reflecting on it, what your takeaways were, and you can then get CEUs for that, or your staff can get CEUs for watching previous webinars as well. And then this is going to be repeated. So spread the word if you have staff or if you have colleagues that you want to be here live next week, October 12th from 3 to 4:15. We'll do the next one in the afternoon, trying to help accommodate different schedules here. So that is happening next week. And then we have some upcoming events. The North Regional is next week already, October 14th in Walker. We have some support webinars coming up November 3rd, February 9th, and then April 11th. We'll be talking about different CCRS topics, math and ELA, and implementation and whatnot. We use evaluations that we get from different PD events to kind of shape what those topics will be. And then Language and Literacy Institute, January 26th and 27th. And that will be in person this year. So you can mark your calendars for that. And then we have PD opportunities for HiSET, some deep dive webinars that are hosted by HiSET, October 10th, 24th, and 31st. There'll be a different focus for each of those, and you can register on the Atlas website for those as well. So yeah, thank you so much for spending your morning with us, and we'll stick around if there are any questions, but otherwise, yeah, thanks for being here.